A man heard screams in the woods, came up and saw something he'd never seen. When humans were predominantly hunters, dogs were of great use, and thus were domesticated long before cats. Although altering feral old cats prevents future generations from suffering, it doesn't protect cats from the litany of other problems that they may encounter. This year, as in many years before, hundreds of pets will be dumped in the streets of Abu Dhabi, Dubai, and other Emirates. They are left in the streets to live as trash by people who leave the country, can't organize pet centers, or whose circumstances have simply changed. Many of us see stray cats and dogs in our daily life. Although we may not look at them consciously, most of us have them in our neighborhoods or near our workplaces when they usually come by night to search bins for food. The pets were later dumped too often without being neutered, leaving them to fight for their own survival. Cats are completely different from dogs in behavior. Dogs are very open about their emotions and can be quite boisterous, which can scare a person not familiar with their ways. This doesn't mean they're violent or mean, though they are quite capable of seriously injuring or killing a person. Cats are small but wiry. They do have a formidable armament that they're willing to use if necessary to enforce their space. When comparing cats and dogs, think of them in this manner. Dogs are dirty little boys who jump in mud puddles then on you. Cats are genteel old ladies in fur coats. Treat each accordingly and you'll get along quite well. I've only encountered one cat in my life who someone else might term as mean. This was one of my mother's cats. Butterscotch, a ginger cat, was very loving and sweet with my mother, but as soon as someone came to visit, he went on the attack. He'd lie in wait under the dining table and grab your ankles, fighting very hard as you passed by. This maintenance man would not service her apartment until he was locked up since she had him. Since he was a tiny kitten, we can only think he was acting out of fear. Someone must have scared him and hurt him when my mother wasn't around. His fear of people was very real, and he acted defensively to keep them away. I've had many cats or encounters with them, and not encountered one who was truly mean. I have a little feral kitten who was absolutely terrified the first few days with me. She'd growl, hiss, spit, and laugh at me whenever I tried to pet her. Someone not versed in cat behavior might take this to be meanness. Once she learned she wasn't going to be hurt, she's tamed down in a very sweet-natured little cat. Ruthie is still shy with visitors, but she'll learn they won't hurt her. As with any young animal, she's learning how to behave around humans by learning claw and fang control when she plays as fierce as she acts when playing. I have yet to get broken skin or scratches from her. A man spotted a hungry, dirty, flea-infested kitty in Virginia. Though he was from out of state and was there working on an independent film, it didn't stop him from bringing the kitty to a safe place, cleaning them up and nursing him back to health. This is the story of Cheeto's recovery from a little homeless ginger to a happy kitty who now has a place to call home. Little Cheeto was found out in the woods. He was famished and battling the cold, starvation, dehydration, and covered in bugs, fleas, and his own mess. The little guy is worn out. 1 pound. 2 ounces, Reddit user Chassenberger wrote. He named him Cheeto because his body was so skinny and his head was so big in comparison. Like Chester Cheetah, my mom adopted him. Well, I let him stay in her apartment for 1 night, and that's all it took. Cheeto's new home, he found the kitten in the woods. Cheeto was a bag of bones. Reddit user Chasing Burger didn't have anything but a Subway sandwich. He liked Subway or really any food at that point. Exhausted, the little guy's worn out, weighing only 1 pound 2 ounces a nap time before bath, Chassenberger wrote. He was covered in at least a couple of hundred fleas and serious crime. That water was clean before we dunked him first time on all fours, exploring his safe place before they took him on a plane. They flew him home with them. 3 weeks later, he couldn't stop playing. Now he's recovered at 5 pounds. Why people use to hurt cats, a woman biked home from work with a kitten in her backpack who is so happy to be helped. A few months ago, Maytia was on her way home from work when she came across a stray kitten wandering alone near a busy intersection. I was biking my usual route. I was coming close to the intersection. I noticed a small fluff ball and realized it was a tiny kitten. Obviously, malnourished Mata shared with Love Meow. She got off her bicycle and approached the kitten, trying to get him to safety. The scraggly little stray saw her coming and waddled right up to her, as if he was ready to be scooped up and get some help. Gizmo was found near an intersection all alone. Maytia carefully placed the kitten in her backpack so she could safely transport him. The tabby was just skin and bones, but so content and relieved that he slept through the entire ride home. He slept in my bunched-up dress in my backpack. He was in such bad shape on the first day, but I think he finally understood he could relax and sleep, so he did for most of the day. He fell asleep in the rescuer's backpack. Matteo took the kitten to the vet and discovered that he was severely underweight and only half the size that he was supposed to be. He had those cute big ears that instantly reminded me of Gizmo from Gremlins. That's how he got his name, which he has shared with Love Neo. It was meant to be that we found each other. I actually got off work later than usual that day. If I was on time, I probably wouldn't have found him. Gizmo felt right at home with his new family. He ate to his heart's content and rested a ton on his own blankets and teddy bear, making up for lost sleep. Gizmo could finally relax and get some much-needed rest. After extensive veterinary care, Gizmo slowly got better and is now the most energetic kitten that follows me around all day. Mate told Love Meow he met his new feline sister Sarah, an orange tabby cat who's 10 years old. Gizmo met his feline sister for the first time. Over the first few weeks, Gizmo made great strides. Not only did he fully recover, but he also filled out from head to tail. He turned into quite the love bug and took on the role as house supervisor, watching his humans while sneaking pets and snuggles here and there. Gizmo happy and loved Gizmo adores people, showers them with abundant affection, and never fails to put a big smile on their faces. He greets me every morning when I get up and every afternoon when I come home from work by flopping on his bed and rolling on his back so I can rub his fluffy belly. It's the cutest thing Mattia shared on Love Me, how he likes nose kisses, belly rubs, and jumping on my back like a backpack. I guess he remembers the ride he took that first day. Gizmo enjoys his assortment of blankets and pillows and always naps with them for extra comfort. He's all grown up now. The tabby boy has come a long way since the day he was rescued from the intersection. He's no longer the scrawny little kitten and has blossomed into a handsome young cat. Gizmo has brought so much joy into my life, and I'm happy that I get to love him back. This may change with the expression cat in the bag means, as it won't be as metaphorical as it initially suggests. On December 21, workers at a utility center were surprised to find a cat in a bag. Quite literally, the kitty in the bag eventually turned out to be very lucky and probably used one of his 9 lives, as he was picked up from a conveyor belt only a meter away from the separator that processes the trash. Michael Tukash was the person who unknowingly saved the cat. They have to cut and check every bag on the belt line for metals, and as he picked it up, he didn't suspect the contents he would find because the cat neither moved nor meowed. The cat probably used another of his 9 lives, as the cut didn't touch him. Michael looked inside and saw a set of beautiful eyes looking back at him, and the cat was out of the bag. A beautiful black and white one. At that, the workers shook his head in disbelief and told everyone around him. They stopped the belt line to take a moment to comprehend what had just happened. The cat was well fed and well cared for, so he was a house cat and not a stray cat. They immediately took the cat to the veterinarian to check his health. It was determined that the cat had no injuries and had figuratively landed on his feet, as it were making the reasons for the disposal by his previous owners even more unfathomable. Everyone was shocked to find the cat in the bag. They stopped the whole belt line after the discovery. Michael Tukash was the one who inferred the cat out of the bag. He was immediately taken to the vet. He wasn't harmed. The cat was definitely domestic. Michael Tukash, the employee who found the cat, was awarded a bonus. The cat was named as Deputy Minister of the Animal Protection Department in Nature and Cyclical Economy. However, officials were very happy to have salvaged such an unusual present right before Christmas. Michael, who has 2 cats of his own, has promised a bonus to his salary. And the cat himself was made a deputy minister responsible for the animal department. The cat is still waiting to get a new name along with his new identity and new role in the ministry. Incidents like this are on the rise. An albino African pygmy hedgehog was salvaged in a similar fashion. Sadly, this isn't the first animal who ended up like this. Just recently, 2 red-eared slider turtles were salvaged in similar fashion, and a beautiful African pygmy hedgehog, also known as a forted hedgehog, who was afterwards named Vizunka. The workers and officials are puzzled by this tendency and note that these incidents are on the rise. Thank goodness there are individuals and organizations that are happy to save them before it's too late and take them under their wing. Thanks for watching.